Alright, so what I'm thinking about doing is just opening it for questions and answers. So like, if you have questions on specific matchups, or like how to get into fighting games, or how to choose your favorite character, things like that, you're all gonna stand up, and I have like, yeah, there's a microphone right here, and you guys are welcome to line up. If you have a troll question, I will not give you a
Yeah. We're looking at you.
Can we start off with let's just start off with like introductions.
Yes.
Introduction. Hey, I'm Pavo, aka Pavocado. I play a lot of Street Fighter 5. I play our Miskic. It's a lot of fun. She's very cheap.
What are your accomplishments?
I guess.
One turn in the butter.
One trick in the butter, one tiger fight.
A couple of tournaments locally. You should be traveling more.
Well, like you also play multiple games like Smash, like Year, and all those.
Yeah, I have a lot of history. I played Persona for Arena at some time. I played competitive Jackie Chan Fist of Fight.
Seriously?
Competitive Sailor Moon. Super Nintendo.
Okay, we're done with you now. Hi, my name is Anthony. I go by the handle of Hypefiend. I'm a commentator, a player. I've been a part of the fighting game community for about 14, almost 15 years now. Would you say that again? But yeah, I play Chun-Li in Street Fighter 5 right now. I focus a lot on community nurturement, and the wired lights just coming in and out constantly. But yeah, I would like to answer any of your guys' questions regarding being in the community, maybe getting started, whether it's as a player, a contributor, or just being a part of the scene. So yeah, ask away there if you have any questions.
And I'm MamaDao, or Carolyn, if you're more comfortable calling me by my first name. I run the tournaments at Showdown for Trading the Butter and Street Fighter. I work like NCR, Genesis 3, Evo, so like if you have questions about just the tournament scene in general, you're welcome to ask me.
I beat Carolyn!
Thank you.
I'm Alex Myers. Hi, Ian. I'm a newly sponsored player, I guess, if interested.
Esports.
Esports. Got top 8, and I got no Pro Tour event. So, yeah, that's about it.
Alright, so you're welcome to line up if you have questions. Like, I have little things.
Go ahead, John. You gotta fight for it. You gotta fight for it.
There's the first troll.
I swear, I'll stand in number. Yeah, you see.
Okay.
I swear. Okay. I feel like all of you are qualified to answer this question. So, to give some background, I have a lot of friends that are like getting into fighting games, specifically Street Fighter 5, and the only sentiment that I've like been hearing every time I play a bunch of times. The sentiment that I hear the most from like newer players is like, oh, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
So it's a really general sentiment. Can you break down like what is fun for you when it comes to like fun and fighting games?
Well, for me, fun is like not losing. So like, the best thing you can do is find like a bunch of friends, or like even like a small like community, just to play casual games and find people on your level. Cause fun is different from like competitive level. But for me at least, I don't like losing. Cause when I lose, I'm not having fun. And anyone else
I
on
think,
that?
going off what Carolyn said, I think you need to set small goals for yourself. Like, don't aim to be like Daigo. Like, don't, like the best players. Like, you want to set goals for yourself. Like, beat your friend. Beat the player at the arcade or something. Someone who's a little bit better than you. So you can see progress. Like, you don't want to shoot too high or you'll get discouraged. So, I think just set little goals, and that's the best way to have fun and get better at the game.
Yeah.
I think fun for me is just the idea of keeping the game exciting for you. Because if you first start playing it and you're super into it, it's easy to work on stuff and like find little like holes in your game and work to be better. But if you get tired of it and you make it not fun for yourself, then you just don't really make progress because you're not invested into it. So that's kind of what I think about fun.
I think fun can go into a lot of categories, right? You can can have fun playing a video game by yourself, but you can also have fun playing video games with your friends. And to me, my interpretation of this is that, like you're talking about your friends, they want to just have fun, right? And I think if they're having fun with a group of people versus having fun by themselves, you create this environment where you're nurturing each other as friends, as a brotherhood, as comrades, and that's for me one of those things. Like, well, I play with the Pandora House guys. Some of you may know who Pandora House is, or what Pandora House is. Some of you may not. Pandora House is a group of really good players. We train together, we travel together. It's a brotherhood. It's something that's closer to family to me than anything else. And I have a lot of fun playing with them, and that constantly keeps me going.
John, you want to grab anything up here? There's stuff to choose from. Yeah, we have like mobile cleaners, like stuffed animals, t-shirts. The sloths. These are mine. Don't choose the sloths. These are sloths. I just wanted to decorate.
These are not to take.
Don't take my sloths. All right, next.
All right, this is a pretty script question, but do you have any tips with memorizing combos or yeah?
Memorizing combos?
Yeah, or which combos to use, because I always wanted to just mash and throw.
So like say you're playing Ryu, you should start with doing the basic links, which are like stand medium punch, crouch medium punch. That's like a basic combo, like in a fireball. And you kind of have to think of it as like a regular timing. Like you have to think like tap, tap. Like you can't mash it. You have to there's a certain little timing, and that's the way you start memorizing. Like as long as you're not mashing and there's a little bit of timing, that's the way you'll memorize your combos.
There's also the challenge modes. Like Street Fighter V recently released it in the last patch, and I recommend using the challenge mode trials and just going over the bread and butter with your specific character.
Let me kind of follow up with another question. Do you practice combos ever?
I do, and I'm horrible.
No, that's totally fine, right? So do you have trouble landing combos in matches, even though you practice them sometimes? You go into a real match, you may have practiced that combo, you may have hit it 90% of the time in training mode, but when you go into a real match, you may have dropped them a lot more often than in training mode, correct?
Yes.
So that's more of so it's not only a matter of memorizing a combo, but memorizing a situation, right? And this is going to be a little bit more harder to train, but it's really a matter of keeping your calm at the right moment. So the first time that you fuck up a combo, you have to think to yourself about that feeling of disappointment, that feeling of, shit, I should have done that, I could have beat his ass. But then you let it go. You don't let that moment capture you. You don't let that moment stop you. And then you just calm yourself down. The next time you get into that moment again, maybe it's not as much frustration, maybe just a little less, and let it gradually work its way so that you actually start getting used to being in the moment. And that's when you start seeing those combos start to land a lot more.
Sometimes what people get to is they'll overthink a situation or something. I had a great tournament against Marn, who I think everyone knows. Because, I love this story. So I had a great tournament against Marn, very early in Street Fighter 4's lifetime, where I sat down next to him, and for some reason I decided that I was going to listen to Fergie while I played to see if it made me play better. So I sat down, and I saw Marn, and of course Marn is a big troll. So the first thing he did is he looked at me and he was like, "What are you listening to?" And then without letting me answer, he went straight to, "I'm listening to Miley Cyrus. Do you mind if I sing her song?" And I don't even know what the song was at the time, but he just started going into it, and I was like, "Only if I could sing Fergie, man." And so, but I had a trick for him, because I also had a secret mind game that I wanted to test out. And we got it from this VHS tape about cheating in golf. It was $1 at like a CVS, we bought it. What ended up happening was I looked at him and I said, "Marn, when you do your combos, do you breathe in or out?" And then the match started. Right before the match started, he just said, "What?" And then let's go into it. So then every time he hit me for the match, he was just like, "All right." The combo starts, he's like, no. And then he's like, all right, next time, don't. No, that one. So I think sometimes when you get that sort of eagle eye for oh, I got a hit, now it's time to convert the hit into damage, people might overthink the situation a little bit, or they should. I think muscle memory is the best. So you know, like, okay, if I am in this range, I hit this button, this is probably going to go into this next button for confirm, so just look for it, like stuff like that. Little just tricks to not only make it like something that you don't have to think about at all, that you just kind of do, even under like the worst pressure.
I definitely think it's a combination of things, right? Like you said, a lot of practice, but also that practice allows you to be really comfortable so that you don't get more nervous or you don't overthink the situation.
Yeah, really it just comes down to keep trying until you get the timing down. It all comes down to like manual timing. And once you get that down, then you'll be able to do it over and over again.
When I first actually started to play, Alex told me about how the audio cues is a good way to time your combos. Like for Sakura specifically, when she finishes saying Shimpukyo, as soon as that's done, I know when to do my Tatsu. So
Yeah,
listen to like the audio. Like audio is really important.
People naturally react faster to sound than they do to visuals.
That's true.
Also, something that might help is like learning recovery. So like say Ryu's hand medium punch, it comes back in. That's when you should do your next one. Yeah. That's how you learn the recovery. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you guys.
No problem.
Thank
Do
you.
you want
anything up here? I brought.
You got prizes.
I like it. I like it.
This is Excel. Do you have any questions? Okay.
Alright,
Nice,
thank you. Alright, Rashid, next question. Rashido.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
But yeah.
Do the turbulent wind.
I can't remember the name well. Alright, this question is more towards Pavo, but this can go towards all you guys as well. As someone such as myself who doesn't really get the chance to travel out as much out of this comfort zone, what do you do to improve when you can't really travel all that much?
Net play is actually really good. The surprising thing about net play is because it's finally at a point with Street Fighter V where you could, if you play like range 5 matches only, whatever like the internet ranking, like the lag, you could actually get just fine matches in and you could play it out just like you would sitting next to another person. And it's interesting because it lets you play so many people. What you usually get though is that people's strategies aren't fully formed online because a lot of people are playing it casually and stuff, but everyone's out there to play it like tournament level. But you could learn like the basics of what your opponent might go for, like gimmicks that people will represent often if you don't know about them, like stuff like that. And then when you do get to go out, then you could play people who also have that knowledge and do a little bit better. So just getting used to like doing stuff all the time. Like in Street Fighter V especially, just capitalizing on hits is ridiculous.
Now, I want to talk about Ed, PR Balrog, as a good example, right? Who doesn't really go to a lot of the local events in the Bay Area and actually goes into training mode a lot. And he trains for the situation. So he watches a lot of these videos, looks for these situations, practices or experiments more precisely with buttons that may do better in a situation, and then he memorizes that situation. So when he goes into a match, he has a mental preparation using training mode to try and duplicate that into success at tournaments.
Yeah, like basically that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like as long as you take each character into training mode and you learn punishes, like looking at frame data apps like V-frames is really good. I feel like the more confident you are knowing your punishes and like the ranges of a character, like it'll just translate easier when you travel because you'll feel more confident playing against a character. Because I know my biggest mental thing is like I'm playing a random character and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. But if you break that down in training mode, you'll feel a lot more confident. Just throw out buttons and try and block after. Like just try and punish them on block, try and punish them.
Watching matches is super good.
Yeah, watching matches.
Infiltration is also a really big example about this. Like if you watch past interviews about infiltration, he talks about how like there's no one in his area to play against, so he literally plays training mode for hours, just trying to get everything down.
Just to help those who are not familiar, who is infiltration?
The #1 Street Fighter player.
Yeah, he's arguably like one of the best players in the world right now.
Thanks for clarifying that.
No, because we haven't seen him for a little bit.
No, not
No,
really.
he hasn't come out yet.
I think he's just hiding. Yeah, he's hiding.
Yeah, but if like infiltration doesn't have anyone to play against and he just sits in training mode, there's still hope for like everyone else who just sits in their living room.
Yeah, because the game's still new, so the more that you break down a character that you're not familiar with, the better you'll do if you run into them in challenge. So.
I still gotta play you some more.
You would?
I don't like the Cammy match.
Okay.
Yes, play tomorrow.
Do you want to grab anything?
Thanks, guys.
No problem.
No problem. Thanks for
Thanks,
everything.
Nice cosplay, thank you.
Do you want to pose in front of everyone before you?
You want to dab on them?
There's a camera right there too.
Yeah,
Turn it
there's a
away,
camera
let's
right
go.
here.
You want to dab on children?
Rashido.
Excellent.
With XL.
I don't know. I think this is
Dude, don't be picky, it's
That's
free,
a
man.
potty mouth. You got a poop mouth.
Cool.
You're not.
Thank you.
He likes friends and new things.
All right. Next question.
He does.
It's true, and it's on the bio. Sorry, please.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Hi, this question is specifically just for Pavo because he plays Nika. As a fellow Nika player, how do you condition your opponent to start doing things and playing in ways the way you want them to? Like, if you have an opponent who always constantly neutral jumps when you try for a command grab or tries to backdash on attempted stuff like that, like how do you condition them to start, sitting down and like taking all the BS that Nika has to offer?
A good way I think of it is for situations like that, it's kind of a conversation.
Okay,
Because
sorry.
it's hard to think about everything just from your side when there's another person who's free to make any decision they wish to make, no matter how like good or poor it is.
Right.
Like in some situations, like mash and backdash will get you out. Or just like
Of an empty command grab.
yeah, doing something weird. But if they're doing that, they're definitely doing something because they think you're gonna command grab. So part of that is just being able to like play a lot. And that's why I like net play a lot, because I can play a lot of different people and I can try to get a feeling of like this person from what they've done so far. I have enough evidence to say like, all right, they might jump. Or this person just knows about the character, so like their first guess is jump or stuff like that. From every like little interaction like that, you can figure out the kind of tree of where it goes, and then just kind of successfully like bet until you see tendencies. Because the cool thing about people is they're not truly random. People are pattern based, and they have like plans.
Habits and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Okay.
So it's just about like you're finding the feeling, but then like working that out. And those are like the really hard parts of getting good at this game. Is just like those weird answers that are more human based than they're like game based.
Yeah. So would you say a lot of it also comes with experience too? Just like playing with people, playing with different play styles.
Ideally, you can figure out time to like work on specifically that, so you kind of schedule for yourself like what you're gonna do for the day. So if you go into like any match, like either casuals or online, you're like, okay, today I really want to make sure that when this comes up, I'm like, even if I'm wrong the first time, if I can make an adjustment to where the situation comes up again, and I check if they're like still jumping, and I do like the stand medium punch, then I get a full combo into like maybe super.
Okay.
Just to show them that I'll do it.
Okay.
Then they should know that they're gonna start doing it back and forth, so you're gonna have to start switching from there.
Right. So
I've noticed more on the professional level, like Cien, I've seen him just like literally sit there watching YouTube videos for the entire time studying his opponent. So from there you can also like kind of see what your opponent's tendencies are and like read off of them.
Oh my god, so that one of the best features in the game is actually that you could go into the Capcom Fighters Network and you could look up matches, every match you've played or anyone else has played, and you could turn on the buttons. So you can see exactly what people are doing in situations, so when something doesn't work, you have concrete proof. You're like, oh, they did that on
Right.
Yeah, like at Northwest Majors, Alex literally found out his opponent and then studied his Capcom Fighter Network like matches, like right before he played, and it worked.
I'm a cheap boy.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Pavo.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. You're welcome to choose anything you want.
Prize.
Yeah.
Are you excellent?
Hello. This question applies to all of you, and kind of all fighting games in general. I'm trying to figure out, how do you guys, the goal in all fighting games is to keep your composure, keep calm, so you can keep your focus, but we all lose that too. What do you do once you lose it to regain that composure, specifically in-game? Say your opponent's better than you or outplaying you in a certain situation, and you don't want to lose the match, so you want to pull back, regain your composure. How do you do that? Other than basic techniques like breathing.
One thing I one thing I do is go to character select. If you lose the first game, like just go and think, try and like regain your composure. Like breathing is really important. Like when you're playing a set, one thing that I told myself early on is like to focus on my breathing pattern. So like you need to really pay attention to that because sometimes in match, like what Pavo was saying in Green tomorrow, if you're thinking about it too much, it's gonna give with you. But if you know already your breathing pattern, you'll just do it like unconsciously, and it'll just be easier for you to stay relaxed because your brain functions better when you're breathing. So you need to really keep the breathing down. And don't think like if you're playing someone better than you that you're gonna lose. Like that, if you go into a match like that, you're gonna lose. Like you have to think that you can at least give him a challenge, or him or her a challenge. Like you have to really believe in yourself, and that's something you gain over time, the experience. Because you just don't get that, but if you keep playing enough, you'll get there.
You're probably going to be pissed when you hear this, but I found a round when I beat Ricky. Before I played Ricky to get into top 16, I said I'm going to lose to Ricky.
Well, maybe I don't work on it.
No, but I want to actually make this a point, though. I'm not saying I disagree with Alex whatsoever. But I think this is a really important thing to talk about because I really did say that, but I did beat Ricky. Because after I said I'm going to lose to Ricky, and I was really, really nervous because in my 14 years of playing, and Ricky's from the Bay Area, you know, I've won in tournament a total of 3 times in the last 14 years against Ricky. 3. I've beaten her in casuals, but that's not really important, especially compared to a major like final round, 1,000+ participants, the pressure's on, we're on loser's bracket. So I think each individual takes that a little bit differently. For me in Stride, even if I feel like I'm going to lose, even if I feel that way, I'm always going to go out there and give it my all. I really don't give a shit how I feel at the end of the day. I'm always going to give my 100% when I'm on the field. I'm going to play my heart out. And it happened to work this time, or that time.
I think the most important thing is to have fun. Because once you start applying pressure to yourself, then you start overthinking things and doing like a lot of misplays, like not even listening to what your heart says. So like what Alex says, go to the character select, breathe. Sometimes I slap my face just like wake myself up. So like just make sure you just take the time to like relax, just so your mind can catch up to whatever is going on in the game.
One thing I noticed that I did too, which is really bad, is like if I feel like I'm gonna lose to someone, I just start like blanking out, like I'm not there. And like that's why smacking your face is good because you kind of tell yourself like I'm here. Like you have to. I've done that. Like I did that against Maya. I was like, all right, I'm not even here. And then like just smack my face and it helps a lot. Like it really does. So just smack the crap out of yourself. It'll work.
And my second answer too, actually, to calm me down is, I know for a fact that when I get emotional, I get emotional. And so I have one of my boys, his name is LPN or Long. I always have him as my coach because he's the one person that really understands me, not only as a player, but as a close friend. And he's more like a brother to me. So the fact that he's by my side, he knows what I'm feeling, he knows what I'm thinking, he knows the right thing to say to calm me down and get me back on track. So I always have him in my corner whenever I play tournament matches. So that's another way to pursue it.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
And one last one.
Yeah.
I think the best way to think about it is if your brain, if someone else is going to come at you with 100%, like Anthony said, they will, because people want to win in this game.
Yeah,
You have to be willing to give your 100%.
absolutely.
And if your brain is thinking about like how something didn't work out in a negative way, or just not like actively trying to win, like do everything it takes to win, then you're using like 90% of your brain. And there's no way you can win against it. Like the only thing you can think about is winning in the moment. How is this going to happen? But it's cool because once you can be able to hone in and focus on that, it's just like, try it.
And in that situation where you were saying if you were to think about something else, you're not giving 100%, how do you, it's easy enough to say like, oh, I should not think about that anymore.
Pull back,
How do you pull back from it? How do you actually tell yourself to stop? Or is that just
It's
practice as
also
well?
working on it when you play too. So like I find a lot of the time that I get the angriest when I play is online because
Oh, yeah.
and the other problem is usually when you play Street Fighter you have someone right next to you, so you don't also want to like just freak out like that. But when you're home, you're just like, who is this guy?
You like look around you.
It's cool. But yeah, like, even in those situations, you're gonna have tense moments where you're on like no life, and you might need to be like, to win, I have like 5%, and they have 70, and I just perfect. And then sometimes you get really good at doing it because you practice it so much and it happens. Especially with this game, where people are just dying in like 2 hits.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
If I may, just I guess one last word from myself. Maybe Alex or Carolyn has something else to say, but I've coached over the past 14 years. I've coached hundreds of players, and each player has their own way of coping with situations. From that perspective, I would recommend that maybe you kind of take a look at how you respond to certain situations, how angry you get, how fast you get angry. What can you do prior to that happening as a way to mitigate some of those emotions, right, before going into a match? And that always differs from person to person. So either you can work on that by yourself or with somebody that's playing with you or somebody that's close with you to help kind of really try to help you prepare and stabilizing the mental state as you enter matches and as you're getting these emotions while you're in your matches. And then you're like, oh wait, well my girlfriend said, or my homeboy said, and then you're like, okay, cool, calm down, breathe for 10 seconds. All right, I'm good, let's go.
I think two things, it comes down to experience and like, just like Anthony said, knowing your flaws. So like, say you have a bad problem on defense, like matching DP or something, right? So DP is like, you're sure you get, it's your move to get out. Maybe you have to think about just blocking or like jumping away from pressure. You might be losing to your own tendencies, and you have to like kind of recognize when you play, like what am I doing to get out, and then why are they beating it? And like that's, as long as you recognize the pattern, you can know how to fix it, and then that also helps your composure because you'll know, okay, I'm not getting beat doing the same thing over and over. So.
Cool. And the last thing is just it's just being conscious. So if you thought of this enough to bring it up as a question, you know about it, and you know about the situations where you can pinpoint it once it happens, like, that's where I messed up. So part of it is just like kind of checking on yourself during the match and